Good morning, everyone. Let's play a quick game of fact or fiction. Are you ready? Now, here's the statement: cells in your body live forever. I'll repeat: cells in your body live forever. What do you think? Is this a fact or fiction? If you said fiction, you're absolutely right. Cells don't live forever, and in fact, they're constantly dying. But don't worry, this isn't a bad thing. In fact, it's a natural and essential part of life. Today, we're going to explore a fascinating topic: cell death. Don't worry, it's not as grim as it sounds. In fact, understanding how and why cells die can help us better understand diseases, aging, healing, and even how we fight infections and cancer. Now, the question is, so do cells die? Yes, they do. Every single day, in fact, millions of your cells are dying right now while you sit here, and millions more are being created. It's all part of your body's way of staying healthy and balanced. Cell death isn't just a breakdown, it's often a carefully planned and controlled process. But sometimes it can also be messy and chaotic. The way a cell dies can actually tell us a lot about what's going on inside the body. There are two ways cells can die. One is neat and controlled, and the other is messy and sometimes dangerous. And there are two types of cell death. These are what we called apoptosis and necrosis. Now you might be wondering, why would a cell want to die in the first place? Here are some common reasons. First, old age. Just like people, cells can get old and burn out. Another thing is it's damaged. If a cell is injured beyond repair, like from a cut, burn, or infection, it may die. Another one is to control the population. Some cells are killed off to make room for new ones or to shape developing tissues. And also, it is needed to protect the body. Sometimes it's safer for the body to get rid of a faulty or infected cell before it causes problems. It is like cleaning out your closet. You get rid of the stuff that's damaged or doesn't fit anymore. So make room for what's better. Let's talk about the first type of cell death: apoptosis. Say it with me: apoptosis. Apoptosis. Apoptosis is like the cell's version of retirement. It's planned, peaceful, and controlled. Apoptosis is like a self-destruct program inside the cell. It's highly controlled and happens when the body chooses to remove a cell from a good reason, either because it's old, damaged, or no longer needed. Think of apoptosis as the biological version of a clean, organized recycling process. Here's what happens: the cell gets a signal that it's time to go. It starts breaking itself down in an orderly way. It neatly packages itself into small pieces, and other cells then come in and safely remove the pieces. No mess, no inflammation. It's like the cell is quietly slipping away and being respectfully recycled. Apoptosis is critical for preventing cancer by getting rid of abnormal cells, shaping fingers and toes during development. It's also critical for removing infected or damaged cells before they cause harm. Here are some real-life examples. First is during embryonic development. Apoptosis helps shape fingers and toes by removing the webbing between them. In the immune system, cells that might attack your own body or autoimmune cells are eliminated by apoptosis. And last example is for cancer prevention. If a cell's DNA is damaged, it might self-destruct to avoid becoming cancerous. Now here's a fun fact. Between 50 to 70 billion cells undergo apoptosis in your body every day. It's happening right now. Now let's look at a more dramatic type of cell death, which is necrosis. Unlike apoptosis, necrosis is not planned. Necrosis is the messy, uncontrolled death of a cell caused by extreme conditions, like physical damage, infections, or lack of oxygen. It's not planned, and it often leads to inflammation and tissue damage. It's more like an accident or an emergency. Necrosis is like a building suddenly collapsing during an earthquake, fast, destructive, and dangerous to everything around it. Think of it as a car crash rather than a peaceful retirement. Now, what are the causes of necrosis? These include injury, like a cut or burn, also infection, lack of oxygen, like during a heart attack or stroke, as well as toxins or poisons. When a cell dies from necrosis, its contents spill out. Nearby cells can get inflamed and damaged. The body sends immune cells to clean up the mess. It's messy, painful, and often leads to swelling or even scarring. Now, here are some real-life examples. First is heart attack. Blood flow is cut off. Cells die from lack of oxygen. Another example is infections. Bacteria or viruses damage and kill cells. And lastly, burn injuries. Heat kills cells instantly, leading to widespread necrosis. Now, for an analogy, if apoptosis is like a peaceful retirement, necrosis is like a factory explosion, destructive, unexpected, and leaves a big mess behind. Now let's break it down with a quick comparison. With apoptosis, the type of death is programmed. With necrosis, it's accidental. For the cause, apoptosis, it's natural, or sometimes we call it genetic. As with necrosis, the cause of cell death is because of injury and toxins. Now, with the cell behavior, apoptosis, the cells shrinks and breaks neatly, while with necrosis, the cells swell and burst. In apoptosis, there's no inflammation, while in necrosis, we have inflammation in the cells. Is it harmful? With apoptosis, no, it's helpful. While with necrosis, yes, this can damage tissues. Now, with the cleanup, apoptosis is being cleaned by immune cells, while necrosis, this is messy and may trigger more damage to nearby cells. Now, you might be wondering, why should I care about how cells die? That's a great question. Here's how it matters in real life. First is cancer. Cancer happens when cells refuse to die by apoptosis and start growing uncontrollably. Now, with heart attacks and strokes, this often cause massive necrosis because cells suddenly lose oxygen. There's also neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's involve too much apoptosis in brain cells. And lastly, with infections, some viruses try to block apoptosis to keep the host cell alive longer, giving them more time to spread. Doctors and scientists study cell death to develop treatments, drugs, and therapies fighting cancer to promoting healing after injuries. So, yes, understanding cell death can literally help save lives. Now, let's have a quick recap what we've learned today. Yes, cell die, and that's normal. This happen naturally. Apoptosis is programmed peaceful cell death, while necrosis is accidental messy cell death. Now, why this matters? Because first, each type plays a role in health, disease, and healing. Understanding this helps us tackle big challenges in medicine and biology. And this shows how the body stay balanced and healthy. Cell death might sound scary at first, but as you've seen, it's actually one of the most important and fascinating processes in biology. It's all about the balance, knowing when to grow and when to let go. So the next time you hear the phrase cell death, think of it not as the end, but as part of the cycle of life, renewal, and survival. Thank you for listening, and remember, science is everywhere, even in the smallest cells of your body. See you next time. Bye bye.